Welcome to the Boomer Briefing Podcast, where we help you solve a critical business issue in 20 minutes or less. I'm your host, Jon Hubbard, director here at Boomer Consulting, and with me today is Sandra Wiley. Sandra is the president at Boomer Consulting. Hi, Sandra. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Jon. Thank you for having me. This will be fun.
Absolutely. So our topic today is one that is really, really relevant, and that is how to make remote working successful. I don't even need to explain, all the details of why that's so important, but I do want you to highlight just a couple things of why is it so important for firms to figure out how to make remote working successful.
Thanks for asking, Jon. And I'm so happy to be here today. And this is you're right. This is a terrific topic for right now in our history. I will tell you that I think the main reason it's here to stay. This isn't oh my gosh, 2020 made us go remote and then, oh good, by 2021 or 2022, it'll be back to normal again. We're not ever going back. There are many, many people out there that are loving this whole remote work. And we're finding in firms that it is just as productive and people are being just as happy, if not happier, being able to have some remote work time. So I don't know that we love the fact that COVID hit and then we had to be, pushed into it, but it's here to stay. So I think that's the main, when I think about why is it so important now, it's because it's here. And now we have to learn to be okay with it, right? And we have to learn how to use it well. So I'd say that's the very first thing. Do you see the same thing?
Yes, I do. And I think one of the biggest reasons we see this being a really significant topic is just the demand on talent, right? So there are a lot of positions in firms today where they're trying to attract the best talent. And if you can figure out remote working, you can figure out how to attract the best talent no matter where they are. So on that note, Sandra, what tips, tricks, solutions do you have for the listeners on how to make remote working successful? What are some key ingredients to successful remote working?
Thank you for asking, because it's really interesting. I talk to firms all the time, and every day we seem to talk to different people. And this whole remote work thing is not a one size fits all. And so when you're thinking about what do you do to make it successful? I would tell you the first thing is that leaders have to lead. And that means that if you're a leader in your firm, you need to turn on that video camera. You need to be on those one-on-one meetings. You need to really lead by example. If you're a leader saying, yeah, we know we have to be virtual, and yes, we know we have to have remote, but man, I'm not getting on my camera and I'm not going to work from home, then you're really not leading by example. And I would tell you that's the first thing. Technology is the second part of the formula that I think makes it be successful. Get people what they need. Don't go on the cheap here. If people are going to be working from home, quite frankly, we kind of think at Boomer that you should have the same thing in your home office as if you were having an office in an office. So, 2 monitors or 3 monitors, whatever they usually have, from the desktop up, get them what they need and give them a little bit of an allowance to get the things that will make it successful. So that's the second thing. Third thing is I'd say processes. Let's make sure that the processes that we're following when we're at home are the same processes as we are in the office. And we are seeing that some firms are having to change it up a bit and really change their processes to make technology and the way they work in tax and audit and consulting so that it works well when you're not all in the office. So I say that would be the next thing. And the last one I think will be near and dear to your heart, Jon, growth. Everybody is using the excuse right now, or not everybody, but a lot of people are using the excuse, I can't get in front of my clients anymore because we're all remote and I can't get out to have lunch with them. And so, everything's just changing. Yes, it's changing, but you can have just as close a relationship with your clients when you are working remotely as if you were in the office. They are learning how to use remote too. They are learning how to use video. You can have lunches like this, right? Jon, you and I have done it before. We've done it with our clients. We've done it with our friends. We've done it with our people. So it's new and it's different, but it's not unheard of and it can happen. So I would say those are some of the things that immediately pop into mind for me.
Right. And that's fantastic, Sandra. Those are four, I think, four really strong, solutions and recommendations there. And as you and I have talked about before, and as we talk with members of our various communities, one of which is our talent circle, right? So larger firms, top talent, HR leaders.
Yeah.
One thing we've talked about is this whole remote working push that's happening right now. Yeah, there are some things that it's introducing for the first time, some new things, some new challenges. But in a lot of instances, we've seen the fact that remote working has actually just exposed the challenges that already existed in your firm that you weren't having to address, whether it's communication, processes, maybe some of the technology you mentioned as well. And so I think all those are really important points, Sandra, you made. So we have our listeners here. They now have the why. Why is this important for the long term? They have a handful of recommendations you just shared with them. If they were to actually go back to their firm and start to implement some of these solutions, implement some of these ideas, what type of results should they anticipate?
And I'll go back. Thanks for bringing up the talent circle, John, because I think that is a group of people that have just been so forward thinking, and they have been so much the leaders in this whole area of remote work that we've heard a lot of great things from them. And I would say that the solutions and how do you get started and what can you anticipate if it happens, I can just tell you the things that have happened from their firms. So when we hear the talent circle participants tell us what's happening in their firms, there are really four words that come to mind for me. The first is they collaborate more. There is more collaboration going on right now in those firms, and I would add communication to that. So collaboration and communication, there's more of that than they've ever seen before in their firm, even when they were all sitting in the same offices. So there's actually more of that going on in firms today than there was before. Retention. I think that if you do this well, you are not going to only be able to retain the great talent you have today and really make them stronger and more loyal to you than ever, but also be able to recruit. Think about what door this opens for recruiting. You can recruit from anywhere in the entire United States or in the world. And now you have the ability to make it happen because they don't have to be sitting within brick and mortar that you're in. So retention and recruitment are huge. Job satisfaction. I don't think we talk about that enough. People want to be happy. We are at work and we're doing work more than we're actually at home sometimes. And if you're not feeling happy and satisfied and really loving what you're doing, it can be miserable. And we have the ability now to make this not miserable. We can truly have job satisfaction. And I guess the last thing, and I think you and I have probably felt this in our lifetime, especially at Boomer, because we have done this, right? We have gone from everybody kind of in the office in one city to everybody in the entire company working remotely. And I think it's motivation. I am very motivated every day to connect with my people from wherever they're at. It's fun to listen to the stories of the different places that they've lived and that they are living now. And it doesn't feel odd anymore. This feels normal to me. It would feel odd to me to go to an office now. So I think motivation is the last thing that I would say is going to be your outcome from making this happen. So collaborate and communicate, making sure you're retaining and recruiting the best. And I think that's going to be a major outcome for you. That we've been in talent wars forever. And this is one thing that's helping us we're going to conquer the talent war. Job satisfaction, and then just being motivated every day to do a great job. So I think those are and I can't imagine why any firm would say, no, we don't want any of that. I'd hope that all of those are things that they would want to embrace.
Yes, everyone wants that. And while you listed many good benefits and anticipated results from that. One I want to kind of mention again is that keeping the best talent. We have to assume that our best talent has options, and those options that they have are virtual, that have virtual flexibility.
Yep.
Right. So,
Good point.
knowing that you're in that competitive marketplace now, because a lot of organizations are moving forward in this area, this will really help position your firm as an employer of choice. So that's great.
You know what, John, I'll echo that too. Isn't it funny that we have been worried about, and you and I have both mentioned before to people that we've consulted with, be careful, because if they aren't happy where they're at, they can walk down the street and get another job almost instantly, especially those that are seasoned professionals, right? People that are 3 to 5 years or so. That is going to be a big deal. And now think about it today. They don't have the opportunity to just walk down the street. Now they can get on Indeed or LinkedIn or go to any one of the many sites that are out there, and they can be picked up by anybody all over the world. All of a sudden, your job just got even more important to keep them, right? To retain them. So yeah, I agree with you completely. It's changing the game a bit, but for a good thing.
Yes. And that kind of gets into our next question that we always like to ask here on this podcast is, how is this topic relevant to outside the accounting profession? So obviously Boomer currently focuses specifically on the accounting profession, but we're very aware of how relevant these topics are outside the profession. So Sandra, how would you answer that question? How is this remote working topic relevant to non-accounting firms?
Yeah, isn't it funny? We talk often about silos in our profession, and we oftentimes talk about that within your firm. Do you have a silo in a particular niche or a service line or within a group of people? I got to tell you, we sometimes in this profession, we think we're the only ones going through this, and we know that is not the case. This remote work and being able to work remotely is in every company, in every niche, in every segment there is out there right now. Now, some are embracing it more than others, but I guess that's where I would say that remote is just everywhere now. And the ability to be able to work from anywhere and be able to run your business from anywhere is touching every single client that our clients have. So I think the more you understand it, the more you can help and you can advise your clients. And the more that you understand it and that you're making it work, you can truly go to your clients and not just say, well, we've heard that. You can say, we've experienced this and this is what we're doing. So clients are dealing with it now. And I got to tell you, that opens an amazing amount of doors for our clients that will see it. If you keep your eyes open, opportunity will present itself, right? This is an opportunity. You've been trying to figure out, firms have been trying to figure out ways to consult with and look at their clients in a different way, advisory and consulting more than ever. This is one of the ways they can do it. If you figured it out, you figured out the technology to use, you figured out how to communicate with people well, how to use Teams for your technology, and the list could go on and on. Why wouldn't you then package that up and say to your clients, let us help you in being able to manage remotely? I just think it's such a great opportunity. And I just think it's right there and it's almost so close that we can't see it. So I think that is I think that's one thing. And I think it's going to become a norm for the communication with your clients. So some people will say, gosh, I can't possibly communicate with my clients by Teams or by Zoom or whatever your technology of choice is. I would beg to differ. I think they will get there, but sometimes you have to show them and you have to help them. But I will tell you also, I've heard firms say our clients ask for it and we just didn't respond. Now we can finally respond. So I think you're going to see a little bit of all of that, but it's everywhere. It's just everywhere.
Good advice, Sandra. So with a few minutes left here, what's the next step, right? So if someone's listening to this and thinking, I really want to help move this forward in my firm, what's the one or two kind of best next steps you would recommend?
So I think it sounds simplistic, but I think it's true. First, educate, right? Educate yourself, first. Make sure that you are able to do and use all of the systems, processes, and technologies that are out there, but educate yourself first. Then educate the people in your firm. Make sure that everybody is on the same page and that you're all doing the right things and that you're doing things well. Then educate your clients. So it's almost like a 3-tiered kind of education process. I think second thing, develop a plan, but do not do that in a silo. Don't think that just your technology people are going to build this plan, or just your millennials are going to build the plan. Have a nice cross section of people from different areas of the firm and different levels within the firm, and let them develop a plan on how you can roll this out and keep it going. How is it going to sustain? One thing I would say is that I think that right now it's like a pendulum. We were way over on one side and we were extremely conservative about what we were able to do. And there was a lot of firms that wouldn't embrace remote at all. And all of a sudden, March of 2020 came and boom, they had to swing the pendulum clear to the other side, and they all went remote. And I think that it's going to come back somewhere in the middle. I think we're not going to be all remote and we're not going to be all in the office, but develop a plan on how you're going to do that, because the next big issue is going to be not how you can work remote, but how can you do this hybrid thing, right? The schools are doing it right now, and now we're going to have to do it. What do you do when you have some of your people who say, I want to stay remote, and some of your people who say, no, I want to be in the office? Now, how do you run the firm? Got to have a plan. So get that plan developed, and then just implement the plan and be ready to change as you go, morph as you go, because it's never going to be exactly perfect. It's going to morph as we get new technology, new processes, new people. It's all going to change. So just be ready for the change and just embrace it.
I like it. I like it a lot. Just embrace it. We should make that a tagline.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic, Sandra. So we're running out of time here, but I really want to give the listeners the ability to contact you directly if they have any questions. So your email address is sandra.wiley@boomer.com. So for those listening, if you have any questions specifically for Sandra around that topic or around this topic, by all means, reach out to her, sandra.wiley@boomer.com. But Sandra, tell us where you are on social media. How can people find you?
I would love to connect with them on social media. So from a business standpoint, you can always find me at LinkedIn or on Twitter. Both I love. And I also have an Instagram and a Facebook account. I only tell you that because I will absolutely connect with you there. But if you want to hear about the business stuff, go LinkedIn, go Twitter. If you want to see my grandchildren or food, then you go Facebook or Instagram. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, you have it figured out, right? The right avenues for the right content. That's great. So thanks again for listening to the Boomer Briefing podcast. Sandra, thanks for being on. Sure do appreciate it. And
thank you so much, John. It's been a pleasure.
You're very welcome. And we release new episodes every Tuesday. So stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks so much.